Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Officers Association webinar. So today we're talking about the value and benefits of attending the Officers Association Annual Symposium. So my name is Clive Lowe. I'm the host of tonight's webinar. I'm a career consultant at the Officers Association and will also be attending the symposium on the 12th of December and hope to meet some of you there. I'm very pleased to be joined this evening by my colleague, Fiona Jackson. So Fiona, welcome to the webinar tonight.
Thanks, Clive. And I'm also a career consultant at the Officers Association and work alongside Clive. And yes, we're going to talk to you tonight about the value of attending an OA webinar, sorry, an OA symposium.
So Fiona, just tell us a tiny bit, if you could, about the Officers Association and what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a long history, actually, and our patron is the Queen, which is very nice. But the Officers Association was actually established in 1920 and was set up to relieve distress amongst those who'd held a commission in any of the armed forces after the end of the First World War. And if you look at the services that we provide, then on the one hand we've got the benevolence side of the organisation, which was set up to help officers and their dependents who were in any sort of financial difficulties. Then on the other side, where Clive and I work, we've got the employment department, and we are there supporting officers and former officers gain employment, and that could actually be for somebody leaving the services or somebody who's been out of the services for quite some time. We have quite a thriving marketing department and a website, and no doubt some of you will have seen the activities on social media that the marketing department are putting forward. We have a wide number of activities and events. Some of you will probably have already taken advantage of one-to-one career consultations. We also run a number of seminars and workshops. We have a very good network contact list, and then obviously what we're talking about tonight is the Employment Symposium. So over to you, Clive, just to say a little bit about where that's being held.
So the Officers Association this year in 2017 will be held at Deloitte's head office at 2 New Street Square. And I'll leave that slide on the screens for you for a couple of moments more so that you can actually jot that down. It's the same location that we've held it for the last couple of years. And for many of you, we suspect it's the first taste you'll get of a corporate venue in the City of London. It'll be held on Tuesday the 12th of December. We'll start registering people from 11:30 in the morning, and the event will go on till about 5 formal parts to about 5:20, and then we break for networking opportunities. You won't get kicked out at 6 o'clock in the evening, so you can actually continue on after that, should you so wish.
I think that's a really good point, Clive, because I think, you know, being at Deloitte's main office, it really does give you the opportunity to see what it's like working in the heart of London in a very, very corporate environment. And some people may find that's not for them, and other people may think, yeah, this is a very stimulating and buzzy environment to work in.
And it will give you an opportunity, of course, to see what Deloitte do and talk to some of their representatives who will be there. Fiona, could you just tell us a little about what the content of the event?
Basically, with regards to the general format and programme of the symposium, we've tried to break it up into both plenary sessions and breakout sessions. And by plenary sessions we mean sessions that are held in the main auditorium for everyone to attend. And we've got 3 key speakers, somebody actually talking about escape from the city, their escape from the city. Then we've got a speaker talking about self-employment as a career. I don't know if you find this, Clive, but certainly quite a number of clients that I talk to are considering self-employment
quite
as
a
a
lot doing,
career.
yes.
And then we've also got our LinkedIn guru, Lincoln Coots, talking about LinkedIn and the value of LinkedIn. Some of you may have taken part in our workshops or online tutorial, but for some of you, LinkedIn may be sort of a fairly new concept, and it will really give you a good idea of how to set yourself up on LinkedIn and how you can use it to help your job search. Then we've broken up the program into a number of breakout sessions, and my understanding is that each of you attending will be able to pick 2 sessions. We always try to give people their first choice session. Sometimes that doesn't always work, but we do the very best we can, and quite often on the day there can be a bit of sort of boxing and coxing and mixing around. With the breakout sessions, we've looked to get a variety of speakers, and we'll have representatives from Deloitte themselves, BlackRock, Bank of England, NHS, JP Morgan, Network Rail, and the British Institute of Facilities Management, and DHL. We're going to cover a wide range of sessions, including consultancy and risk, looking at financial services. Now, with financial services, a lot of people say to me they want to work in financial services, but they don't necessarily really understand the full range of what financial services can offer. So there'll be an opportunity to find out more about that on the day. We'll also be looking at various operations type roles. We've got a session on non-corporates, and that includes working in the not-for-profit sector. And also we've got some speakers talking about the role of Bursa, which I know again is quite a popular thing with some of our clients. We'll be looking at project management with speakers from Network Rail and the construction industry. We've also got speakers on IT and cyber, and finally on facilities management. So hopefully we've got quite a wide spread there, Clive. So it should really cover the majority of things that our clients want to hear about.
Yeah. And we selected these because these are the market sectors that, on the whole, the majority of people who are service leaders are actually interested in. After the between the breakout sessions, and after the breakouts, after the final plenary sessions in the early evening, there are networking opportunities, and that's an opportunity for you when you attend to talk to people from industry and representatives of other organizations. Yeah. So it's a big opportunity to network with key people.
And I think that's a really important point, because you know, some of our clients say they don't really know how to network, or they don't know sort of where to start with networking. Well, here you've got a built-in opportunity to be able to do it, to network. And you'll have the opportunity as well to talk to some recruitment consultants who come along. You may find that during the breakout sessions that there won't be enough time to ask lots of questions then, but the speakers will be around for you to talk to them during the networking sessions as well.
So, Fiona, the key point then, the value that attendees will get out of attending the function.
Okay. Well, I think we've identified that there are a number of values for attending the Employment Symposium. As we said, one of them was just understanding what it's like to work in a corporate environment in London. But you and I have sort of highlighted the main values, and first of all it's about gathering and gaining information, because I'm sure you all realise that a lot of your transition first of all is about just finding out about what's out there. And I always say to clients, you know, that it is the old adage, the time spent in reconnaissance is seldom wasted, and this helps you with your recce of various sectors of industry. It's a learning opportunity. So for example, we talked about a speaker on LinkedIn. If you're not familiar with LinkedIn, it's an opportunity to learn. It should be a key part of your transition, rather than you feeling possibly sort of alone and you're the only one going through this. You'll actually find there's a whole building full of people going through the same thing. It gives you the opportunity to meet industry representatives, and I would think most of the representatives, Clive, are probably people who've been in the forces themselves and therefore are happy to talk to you.
I
Would you agree with that?
Most of the industry representatives are ex-horses.
Yes.
And so indeed are the speakers that you will hear both in the plenary and the breakout sessions. The vast majority of them have a services background.
Yeah. The value of attending is also to a certain extent catch up with old buddies, but we would sort of recommend that you don't spend all your time in the evening talking to your old buddies, because you can do that at other times, and actually you get out there and you network with people you haven't met before, particularly recruiters and employers. It does give you the opportunity to meet potential employers, for example, representatives from Amazon and places like that. We've talked about the value of networking. It's a ready-made opportunity for you to network. It's all set up for you. And finally, and I would hope most importantly, well, not quite, but you'll have the opportunity, if you haven't met us, to meet the OA staff and find out about other services that we as the OA provide. And we can certainly give you pointers on those.
Well, that leads us very much nicely into the next slide, Fiona, which is actually what are the other activities that the OA undertakes, which will help service leavers in their transition.
Yeah, well, you and I and our colleagues have been involved in quite a number of activities over the last year or so, and I think one of our highlights for this summer was our OA Northern Symposium, because what we recognised is that not all of our clients want to live and work in London and the South East, and quite a number of them want to live and work in the north of England. So we were very lucky to have a venue provided for us in York, which was the Network Rail Training Centre, and we held a very, very successful symposium there, along a similar format really to the one we're running in London. I think the one in London will be bigger, but the format with the breakout sessions and the plenary sessions was the same. Then obviously we've got our offer of one-to-one interviews, either in our London office, in York or Catterick, and our Bristol office. But also remember that if those of you are not able to attend in person to any of those locations, we will also offer one-to-one consultations, both over the internet and over the telephone. For example, I spoke to a client yesterday who was on board a ship, and so we had to do a telephone call because there wasn't any other means of communication. So we try and be as flexible as possible when it comes to having interviews with our clients. We've increasingly started doing CV reviews, in other words, standalone CV reviews, where clients have not felt they wanted at this stage a one-to-one meeting, but they have asked for a CV review, and we're very happy to do those and work with people on a number of iterations, because we do realise with CVs that one size does not fit all. We've got a very well established OA network contact list. Currently there are probably about 500 names on there, and they're all people who've been clients of ours and who are known to us, and they're all there saying they're willing to give advice and support. And even if you don't know them, they're still happy to support you, because what they realise is that other people gave them support when they were in transition, so they're happy to give something back. We mentioned the website, and if you look on our website, you'll see lists of events, networking groups. We've also got a LinkedIn page as well. So there's a lot going on the website. We also publish on the website in our events page military insight days, and those are the days that are run in conjunction, particularly with financial services organisations, so JP Morgan, also the consultancies, Deloitte, and so on. We run a number of distinguished speaker events. Now, some of those are in conjunction with the Institute of Directors, where we have a certain number of places on each event, and we also run networking events where we invite a speaker along. So, for example, next week we're running a networking event in Bristol where we've got the CEO of Lowe Valley coming to talk to the attendees. We publish military internships, so that's companies like JP Morgan, Citi, Goldman Sachs who run internships, and we would put the dates and advertise how you can go around about applying for those. Other activities, we run seminars and workshops, and I think, Clive, you were telling me about some of the workshops that you've been involved in more recently.
Yeah, we run quite a number of workshops which cover things like project management, which is a key subject area, program management, facilities management, operations, so things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously we run webinars, which you're listening to at the moment, but please do remember that also the value of the webinars is not just listening to them live, but you've also got access to them via our website through YouTube, where we've got a whole library of webinars and you can go back and listen to them in your own time. We have our jobs board where we advertise quite a wide range of jobs, from sort of clerk to a livery company, school bursar to project manager, operations manager. And in conjunction with that, this year we tried for the first time running a virtual careers fair where we invited speakers along and another recruitment consultancy to work with us on that. Outside of employment, we also work in conjunction with other organisations, for example, Deloitte and the Forces in Mind Trust. So, for example, looking at research into over 50s leaving the armed forces and their contribution to the workplace and why it's important to employ people like that. We've also done more work with Forces in Mind Trust, looking at sort of demographic research of the serving and former officer community, and that's all to help us sort of gain information, and also for you to look at what are the key factors in terms of people leaving the armed forces. And then finally, we touched on it before, but we've got the benevolence department, and the benevolence department, sometimes we help people on both fronts, so we support them financially, but we also help them with a job search and finding a jobs. The benevolent side doesn't just sort of, let's say, award money or grants to people. They will also help with things like debt management, legal issues, advice on statutory benefits, looking after sort of the welfare of elderly clients and so on. And I think one of the key things that the benevolence department has been involved in over the last few years is recognising that for elderly clients and their dependents, then loneliness is a huge thing, and they've worked along with Age UK and the Silver Line helpline, really recognising that a lot of people are isolated in their homes, and this has literally been a lifeline for them. So as you can see, Clive, you know, we know there's a lot going on.
There's quite a lot.
Yes, yes.
And last but not least, we also run webinars such as tonight's one, and we try and do those on a regular basis. So if any of you listening in have particular subjects that you want addressed in a webinar, we'll certainly look at that, and hopefully some will come out of the requirements out of the symposium on the 12th of December. So Fiona, thank you very much for running through that. I just put up the last slide just to give you sort of three little sort of statements so that you understand. First of all, the Officers Association is here for you. We look after, we help service leavers in their transition, but the OA is here for you for life, so you can come back should you so wish in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time, and some people do actually, so it is a for life service.
I think that's important, Clive, because it's not, you know, I must admit, I first came to the OA in 1989 or something like that, and then I didn't come back again until 2009, and I thought, oh, I've had my opportunity, I won't be able to come again. And somebody said to me, no, of course you can go again. So you're right, you know, we see clients who haven't been in contact with us for a long time, or have never been in contact with us when they left the forces, but they're still able to come and see us at any stage.
Very valuable service. The other is that we're pushing the mantra that military is good for business, and the outside world, the commercial world, recognizes the value that ex-service people bring. It's particularly the skills like commitment, loyalty, but it's the ability to get things done. So military is good for business, and the commercial world is interested in the skills that people like yourselves bring. And the OA also has very close links to other charities and other service suppliers, so it is quite widespread. So Fiona, any last thoughts about this?
No, and I just think for us, the more that our clients can engage with us, the better, so that we can keep the whole community vibrant. And the other thing is, I mentioned the OA network contact list. What we do ask our clients is, once they've been able to find themselves a job and got settled in, we ask them if they'd like to add their details to the network contact list so that they can support other clients in their transition as well.
So, Fiona, thank you very much indeed. And I hope to everybody listening that this has been helpful to you. If you're interested, do sign up for the symposium. Information on our website or on the OA app, which you can download. Okay. Well, thank you all very much for participating tonight, and we wish you all the very best, and a very good night to you all. Thank you.